What is up, internet? This is Xcala, and let's see if I get it right. Oh, I got it wrong. No, I can just say, this is Soju, and that is Flannel Go. What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. Yeah,
And
I
this is Tuxedo Cat and Zayo.
tuxedo cat.
I
As you
think I
guys
got one
can
of those
see, we are
things.
not at the Kyber cave today. We are all in our own separate. Oh, Soju will match me a cat. I will see your cat and raise you a cat. Where's Cuddle Cat? Bring the Cuddle Cat.
I have no cat
uh,
right now.
have you no cat to share? Hey, what is that? I can't read that.
Ooh, that's Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Ooh, is that like a number one?
Uh,
It's just a comic.
Is that like something that's out right now? You actually showed that on the haha! I have a second cat. I win.
ah, I have.
Actually, that's a perfect intro to our guest tonight. That's like a perfect segue. Later,
Oh
let's
yeah.
bring those comic books back. We'll talk about comic books a little bit later as we
Yep.
get into around the 720. So just to let everybody in internet land know tonight, our format's going to be a little different than usual. Typically, you see us talk for 10 minutes, and then you see the guests come on for 40 minutes, and then we have another 10 minutes at the end where we talk about some kind of a saber activity that we're doing over at the Kyber Cave. We're going to be a
Yeah.
little bit out of order tonight because the guest needs time to get back to a location to be able to jump online. So the guest will be on at 7:20 tonight.
Yeah.
At 7:10, we actually have Ravenclaw will be here. Raven Wing, sorry.
You have wings. Yeah.
Raven will be here of Raven Wing Hema. Raven will be here. No, don't. That'll make it echo. Raven will be here, and he's going to talk to us instead of Greg tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Hema and learn some things about Hema. It's really cool to watch it at the store. Have you guys been doing any of the Hema? I know you have, haven't you, Victor?
I haven't done the Hema, but I have been filming Hema and also taking pictures so I can promote Hema on our platforms on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
Right. What about you, Soju? Have you tried any of the Hema stuff?
I have not tried any of the Hema stuff. I've watched every time it's been in though.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I like how it seems it's a lot more hands-on. There's a lot more grabbing moves and pulling, the sword out of the other person's arm and hitting him with the pummel of the sword.
Yeah.
I really like the kind of aggressive nature of that. But I have not had a chance to participate in the Hema myself. It's mostly because I've been lazy. Let's just face it. Wednesday night is my night in the store, so I can use that as my excuse.
Yes.
So yes, yeah, Ravenwing will be here to talk to us a little bit about what they are doing with the HEMA tonight. So I sent
Nice.
him that link. What else is going on at the store, guys? It's been a crazy week.
Oh yes, it has been. Yep, we have actually been doing light speed combat on Sundays. Yep, we barely
Yes,
last Sunday I think was our second night that we did light speed.
right,
Yep.
right. And actually, both of you guys participated in that, right?
Yes, me and Soju. Yes.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I think it's great. It's a new type of fighting style that I feel like I'll enjoy very much, and I'm actually a person that's going to be bringing this new type of combat to the cave up, and also Greg
Right,
will
right, right,
be
right.
doing that too. Yep.
Well, just keep in mind it's only new to us.
Yes.
Just because we
Another
haven't
big
done it
thing
before doesn't
too.
mean it's a brand new thing.
Oh yeah.
Ken, you're gonna make Ken cry, dude. He's been working for years to get this off the ground.
Oh yep.
What's
Yeah.
going on
Like
with you, Soju? I'm really excited about. Okay, so not often. Not. I'm gonna let you in on a little bit of Kyber Cave secrets here in the audience. How many people we got watching? I have no idea who's watching right now.
yeah, we
I'm
got
gonna
a
let
few
you in
people watching. Yeah.
on a little business secret, trade secret here. sometimes when there's work that we cannot do and a customer requests it, sometimes we have to outsource our work, right? Just like any
Yeah.
other business. And always, typically, when you have to outsource, that's going to cost a little more money, more expense in the long run. But our man Soju here has now upgraded his experience level and his knowledge so that we're able to actually shave the price off of our sabers. That is amazing. I find it. A round of applause for Soju. So now Soju has the knowledge and the ability to do neopixels himself, thus limiting the number of outsourced materials that we have to do. Sometimes we still got to go to other people. We don't know how to do everything, right?
Yeah.
But
No.
we don't have to go as often, and that's always going to give a price difference to the customer.
Yep.
Yeah, neopixels are definitely kind of where sabers are going right now, as far as all the blade profiles. A lot of people out there. I was one of them. I would say it honestly. For me, the price was just ridiculous, and just the LED light up is pretty cool. I loved it, and until I actually finally had one in my hand, and it was my own personal. I probably will not go back to any type of other lightsaber versus a neopixel now. I was just like a lot of you out there, like it's not worth it. But until you have it and you start messing around with it, it's just you just can't go back to regular scent. Like you'll literally look at like
you
Yeah.
you look at your LED saber like how we look at like like toy sabers that you get at Walmart, dude.
yeah, those
No.
of course the LEDs are gonna have strong points though. You're gonna always want to do those type of things if you're doing heavy combat, battling. Personally, I will not do. This is just a me thing. I will not do soundboards in any of my battle sabers, just because I just don't have the extra crash or uh, enthusiast to have to repair it every time something hits too hard, something grounds, and um, so that's the biggest thing. But definitely stunts are still one of our biggest things here because we do models.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I believe me, dude. I have been jealous of both of you gentlemen had NeoPixel for a moment. I've been jealous of you both, but to me, you just can't beat a good old fashioned stunt saber too. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, I like the lights, I like the sound, I love all the cool effects, but when it just comes to just some straight up whomping, dude, I just want a nice red blade. That's all I'm looking for.
Like you
Yeah.
were a little bit jealous at me because I got the Obi-Wan NeoPixel. You were a little bit jealous at me.
That is a gorgeous saber, dude. And of course, Soju. That was when I first met Soju. Obi-Wan was his character. That was his cosplay.
Yep, it was. It's
Yeah.
still one of my favorites.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, so
it's
we now fully have the ability to do NeoPixel blades at Kyber Cave. We have had the ability to do them, but we've had, like I said, outsource that. So because of that, you're gonna start seeing. And when I say a price difference, I mean we're talking about, almost like $100 or more price difference that you're gonna see from what we were able to sell at something before compared to what we're able to sell now. In fact, oh, we're not at the store. So you just put together a gorgeous Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. Yep,
Yeah,
Tell
it
them
is a
about that
you get to
Qui-Gon.
beautiful.
show.
It's
Yeah,
a
well, I mean, of
beautiful.
course.
Yeah, like it. He put different types of soundboards. Like he even has the Michael Jackson one, which is my favorite one, and personally, the Michael Jackson.
I'm sure at some point they're going to come out with a Hamilton soundboard or let it go.
Oh,
Probably.
oh, you're telling everyone my secret, my battle song. Why? Why Ark? Why?
Yeah. Anybody that comes into the cave on a Saturday night already knows, dude. So yeah, so because of for those that may or may not know, we were closed today. It is very possible we'll be closed tomorrow or Sunday. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, but we're keeping an eye on the air quality right now. Um, because of that, uh, our hours have been adjusted a bit. So please stay tuned to our Facebook page. We will let you know in the morning if we're going to be open at noon or if we're going to have to be shut. But we did decide, like yesterday, the air quality was moderate, and we decided that that was fine for the store. But when the air quality got to it's right now in California, and if you don't live here, be thankful. Uh, but the air quality
Oh.
is considered very unhealthy. Not just unhealthy, very unhealthy.
Yeah, I saw this morning. Yeah, I saw like it was 2:15 this morning, right? Yeah, like
It was 2:15.
yeah, when I saw it was 2:15 this morning.
Holy
When
goodness!
we looked in, I think about 5 a.m. It was at 250.
Yeah, 250
Oh man.
this morning. Yeah. Yeah, the quality is not good right now. Like I had like a few like yeah, my I've been coughing all day because of the unhealthiness. So I rather for like stay inside most of the time. Yeah.
Right. Hey, you guys hold it for a second. I'm gonna jump out real quick, and I'm gonna message Raven to see where he's at. He's supposed to be in right
He's
now.
on right now.
Oh, he's right there. He's right there.
Oh, is he right there? Oh,
Yep.
shoot. Yeah. I can't see anything. Usually, I can see when people are like backstage and stuff.
Yep. Yep. So let me bring him in here right now. There he is.
Beautiful. Well, hello, sir.
Hey, good evening, guys. What's up?
How
Hey.
you doing?
Sorry?
How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain too badly. Smoke's kind of messing with me a little bit, but been cooped up inside all day after work, so enjoy what little gap of clear weather we have right now.
Right. Are you
Jim.
outside?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the porch, on my porch swing.
Just be
okay.
careful because Sith Cat is saying that he thought Stormtrooper mask flattered smoke. He thought that.
Filtered
They did.
smoke.
They're designed for that, actually. Yes, if they were real. Plus, then you have now. I think it's the M79. As I think the standard oxygen mask right now in the military, but I'm not really sure because fortunately, as a flyboy, I never had to wear it.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, really quickly before we go in, I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that you're doing, Tony. But Flannel, when
Yes.
our guest comes in, let me know. Give me some kind of signal or something to let me know when our guest is backstage. Okay.
Oh yeah, John is here. He's at backstage right now.
Oh, he's backstage right now.
Yep.
Okay. Well, John's gonna have to wait a minute then, because we got.
Yep, he's waving. Yeah, he's waving.
All right, John. We are gonna get to our fantastic guest in just a little while. But really quickly, we're going to talk to Raven and talk to him about what he has been doing over at the Kyber Cave. I'm really excited, dude. You're getting all on this, dude. Like some of the moves that I see you do in there, it makes you feel excited. It makes you think of like some of the great movies, the old sword fight movies that you would see where they're just clashing into each other and they're kicking off each other. It's amazing what you guys are doing in there.
Pretty amazing to find out that's actually in a written treaties, huh?
Yeah, those are real things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you. I know we met you. Obviously through the Saber community. We are primarily a Saber store. But has Hema or Sabers been something you've been interested in longer?
Steels. My actual sword play has been my passion. Remember, I'm a living historian reenactor, so I did a lot of stage combat with the various guilds I was in.
Right.
So they just get the feeling of swinging that sword, ring, the ring of the steel when you actually hit. So hopefully, once we get our Hema Alliance stuff, and we get people who actually join up with the actual alliance, then that way our insurance can take over for it. We'd like to use steel fetters if we can, but which are actually just like foils, but they're the length of great swords. So they literally will bend like you would not believe when you stab somebody.
Wow, that's incredible. So with what you're doing in there, I know we're using synthetic swords, but these are the same exact moves that you would use with a standard sword.
Correct. There's no difference between the technique between whether you're using a synthetic fetter or a steel fetter.
What does fetter mean, by the way, for the unincorporated, the
Um,
uninitiated?
fetter, I don't actually know what it means, to be honest with you. It's actually called a fetter sword, which is like, which I think is another way of just saying it's a training sword. I'm not really sure what it means, to be honest with you. I'm not too in part with the German.
Yeah, like what with the synthetic swords and also steel swords, like do they have like a different like weight balance, or are they the same?
I'd say synthetics and actually the steels for sparring these days are actually less weighted than the real ones are.
Oh.
Although the
Oh,
basket hilt
wow.
I have for Black Armory, that thing weighs just about as much, it feels, as my JP Heinrich, which is an all steel. It's the basket hilted broadsword I use when I performed.
Right. Wow. So let people know, you've been doing now at Kyber Cave. You've been doing the HEMA for about a month, over a month now.
Yeah, about a month, 2 months now. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is your goal? What is it that you would like? Obviously, you've been talking about the HEMA Alliance and how you've joined the HEMA Alliance so that other people who are interested in this can find Ravenwing at the Kyber Cave. But what is the bigger goal with this?
Well, so far, me and the assistant coach Greg, we would love to have our own, school at some point, but that's way away.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
nice.
So you want to build a community, then it sounds like, definitely.
Well, we're already part of a community, but we definitely want to bring HEMA into more of the mainstream because people think, martial arts, they think judo, taekwondo, the Eastern forms. Most people don't know Westerners had a formal martial arts system.
Right.
Yeah.
About,
Right. It just
about the 1600s, when the guns became into widespread use, swords started to die out.
right. That's fantastic. So what's going to be coming up for your class in particular here in the next week or two? Obviously, air quality dependent. What do people have to look forward to with? Your class is on Wednesdays and Fridays from 7
Yep.
to 9.
Yep. Wednesday is drill day. Friday is sparring.
And how much does it cost people?
Right now, it's free.
It's completely free.
Free.
So if this is something you want to check out or you want to find out more about, and you don't even have to have a sword. I know that Raven has a few extra loaner swords. Now, if the class gets too big, people may have to share and rotate around or something like that, or obviously get your own sword. But he does have pieces of equipment that people can borrow right now as well. So even if you don't have equipment, if you don't have the proper helmets, we have some fencing masks in there as well. So we got you taken care of.
So we just started playing with some dagger work last Wednesday actually. So we're starting to work into the dagger, starting to add some of the other weaponry.
Yeah, and I see you also have the shields out also.
Yes, I'm actually talking with he's an honorary coach for us, but because he's my former fighting partner. He was the owner of Spoils of War. He actually is the one who made that wolf shield or the triple hound shield that you see me carry.
Yeah.
So we're actually working on making practice targes for the class.
Oh.
They won't be as ornate as that, but you're whacking the living bejesus out of each other with them. So yeah.
Right. Man, there's so many cool, fun workshops I would love to do at the shop. If it wasn't, COVID just ruins COVID. It just ruins everything, man.
And
We
now
can have shield making parties in there.
So, you have any questions since you were talking about them? Any questions about binds, anything like that? Because you made mention of them earlier.
About what?
Binding. Like, so you see me grab the opponent's, weapons. I say whether you catch the blades, carry them off, things like that.
Tell us more about that. I find it absolutely amazing.
Well, again, it's very distinctive to the Western style, though. I think some carriers like Afka have them as well. Now, most Eastern swords are very, very sharp. But in Western, we actually will grab each other's weapons, wrestle them away from each other, pull them into our bodies, lock them in, and then counter strike over that pulled weapon. We also do a lot of disarms, a lot of wrestling. It's a pretty aggressive fighting style when you actually learn it, but what people are, like I said, people are surprised that there are actual techniques for this. The master I'm studying right now is Fiore de la Berry. He is an Italian master, rated about 1407. So he's actually known as a penultimate master right now because his is actually one of the only real surviving treaties, and it's almost in its entirety.
Wow, dude.
You also
When
see,
I watch you guys go at it, like you're all aggressive and grabbing each other and binding up and stuff like that, I always think I want. You know that restaurant in LA, they have medieval times where they have like
medieval
the
times,
show in the
Uh,
middle and you're eating all
no,
around. I would love to have some people in armor just going at it while I'm eating dinner and have, or like a bar wrapped around a ring with it in the middle where just people are just going at it with like swords and shields.
just a
yeah,
button in my hand, just going.
Right, you know what I
actually
mean?
fun. Check out Armored Combat League. You'll see the full armor combat. So they actually strap on like full bassinets, the period armor, and we'll completely have at each other.
Wow.
So it's pretty trippy to see.
That is amazing. All right. So
How these guys
really
can fight
quickly,
for so long.
we have our guest waiting back there. I'm going to let you go here, but let people know what's coming up in this next week, the next 2 weeks. If there's anything you want people to know or how they can get more information.
Well, for more information, you can check through the Facebook groups page. Our club name is Ravenwing Hema. We post videos, information, anything that you have a question. If you do want to come play, we recommend a good set of gloves, either sturdy leather gauntlets preferred, or motorcycle gloves that have them, something that has protection of the hands, because you will get a sword bite to the knuckles, and it's sort of a badge of honor for your first actual classes. If you didn't get bitten, you're not training hard enough.
Wonderful. So check out Ravenwing Hema on Facebook. Or for more information, you can always contact Kyber Cave and we will get you in touch with Tony, Mr. Raven himself. All right, sir. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys. I'll take care.
All right, and I'll see you as soon as the shop opens.
Yeah, I know. One, you got my mask there, and two, Soju tells me my new Kylo's finished. So I got to go get it.
Yes, with the crystal chamber. I'm so excited. I got to see what your family collection of sabers looks like by now.
Yeah, I'll try to get a picture of it for you guys.
All right, man. Take it easy. Go ahead and drop them out, Flannel. All right, Flannel. All right, you are on production. Get ready to drop it. Okay. Oh man, don't bring in our guest. I haven't even introduced him. Oh, what is going on? What is going on? How are you doing tonight? I would like to introduce everybody to our special guest tonight. Soju is back. Yes, Soju has a little hint. What do you have in your hand there? Ooh. So that is a little hint at what our guest tonight does. In fact, I'm not sure if you guys even know our guest. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to meet John at Waterfront Comics. The gentleman that we are going to be meeting tonight, his name is Mr. John Harter. He has been the owner of Waterfront Comics. I want to say, I believe it's literally over 20 years, 21 years or something like that. Woohoo!
Spider-Man. We actually have Spidey right here at the background right now, and here's his hilt right here.
Ooh, the Spidey hilt. Oh, that's gorgeous. Man, that's fantastic.
Look at that.
So the gentleman that we are bringing on, Mr. John Harter, has owned Waterfront Comics for, I believe, over 20 years. He is a staple in the community and really probably about the only entertainment we've had in Sassoon for a long time. So with no further ado, please bring on Mr. John Harter.
Hey.
Well, hello.
Hello, Van. How you been, brother?
Life is beautiful. How you doing, John?
Good. How's COVID treating you down there?
Well, we are thankful to at least be able to keep the doors open.
I feel you there.
We are in that weird precarious spot. We're not we're not a dojo. We're a retail spot. But we just happen to do a lot of physical activities in our retail establishment.
Yeah, I was lucky to be one of the last ones that had to close and one of the first ones to get to reopen and stay open. So I feel
Right.
I feel blessed.
Well, before we get too far going, why don't you tell everybody in the audience who you are and what it is you do and how long you've been doing it?
I'm John from Waterfront Comics, 609 Main Street in Suisun. We have been there. We opened that Waterfront up in 2003. Before that, I managed the store in the mall starting in about 2000. And then when that went by the way of the dodo bird because of poor management, I opened up, and we've been down there in Main Street soon since 2003. So
Wow.
if you bought a comic in Solano County in the last 20 years, you've probably seen my face.
This is true. You're a rock star in this area.
No, that's all you, brother.
No, man, you've kept us young nerds alive. Kyber Cave couldn't be here if it wasn't for Waterfront Comics paving the way for us nerds having a safe space.
Well, I was thinking about this morning after you texted me. I first saw Star Wars 2 blocks from your shop.
Yes, at the movie theaters that used to be there. Yeah. Did you go to the one that had the upstairs theater, the balcony?
Well, I was 6, so I don't remember which one it was in. I know I definitely saw Jaws in the one that was upstairs.
Oh man, I have to tell you. Okay, so total side note. I know we're doing an interview, but when I remember going to see Return of the Jedi in the movie theater that had the balcony, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to learn about Fairfield. But growing up in Fairfield, we had these 2 movie theaters that were across the street from each other, and one had the cool balcony, and you were like cool if you got to hang out in the balcony and watch the movie, right? So I remember getting to go see Return of the Jedi, and I was going to get to go sit up in the balcony, but I was with my stepdad, and he fell asleep and snored the entire movie, and I was so horrified. I was so embarrassed.
I got one better on you. When Empire
Yeah.
came, my mom went into labor with my sister, and we had to leave in the last 15 minutes before it finished. And then I've given my sister shit for the last 40 years because they decided to name her Mary and not Yoda.
No.
You're like, you missed a golden opportunity here, Mom. Wonderful. So let me ask you, how you said that you've been here since 2003. You were part of another comic book store that was in the mall. Is that what you said, or
Comics and Comics? Okay. Yeah, they had opened in '83, and that was one of the greatest days of my young nerd life at 9 years old, and having a store where there was comics everywhere, and I didn't have to go to the Safeway spinner rack to see what they still had.
Right.
And one day I said, I want the keys for this place, and there's framed right above my register at the shop.
Right. Man, that's so cool. So how old were you when you got to work there? Oh, wait a minute. No, that was
25?
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you there before it were you there until its end?
No, 2003, and they shut down. I opened in like July of 2003, and they shut down at the end of 2003.
Oh, so, wow. Okay, so it was
I saw the writing on the wall, and I knew that people would be more likely to come buy comics from the guy they were used to behind the counter than the name above the door.
Right. And how did that work out for you? Were the first few years was it a pretty easy transition, or was it tough growing?
I remember the first day when the comic shipment didn't show up, and then I had nothing to sell, and then days when there were like 3 customers coming in, and I'm like, wow, I really dumped all my life savings into this,
Right.
But persevere, and here we are.
Right. Definitely. I believe me, I understand that feeling. When I opened our first lightsaber shop, which was the size of a bedroom, we sold 2 lightsabers the entire month. And I was like, oh my God, dude. No, fortunately I didn't dump a life savings in there, but I was like, dude, what did I do to myself? What now? What gave you the hope to move on when maybe sales weren't where you wanted them to be right out the gate?
Post that. Just perseverance. I was too dumb to quit. That kind of thing, and I had a little bit of a corporate background, and I didn't want to go back to that. So, just figured I'd dig in. I could always, if it completely failed, go back to the corporate world. And plus, I had a lot of, and I'm sure you experienced this too. A lot of angels that helped out in the early time. Buying a extra trade or two, or ordering a statue or two, or floating you a loan, that kind of thing. So I was very lucky that way.
Right. It's amazing who pops up in your life, especially at those times of need. Especially I feel like when you have passion and conviction in your heart about something, even when it looks like a train is coming and dead at you, somehow something gets in the way and helps you right at the last second.
Yeah, that's why I try to give back as much as I can. If you might hear some banging in the background, my kid's 20th birthday is going on, and so there's a bunch of late teens out there. But we made sure we got all of our food tonight from a couple restaurants, right there on Main Street, to help the cause with small businesses, and
Right.
that money we kicked into them, maybe the the thing to pay a light bill, or that kind of thing for the night. So
Right. And and that's a great ad there for small businesses. When you're shopping with a small business, you're helping the people in that community directly. Oh, I have to say that if you're not coming to shop at my store, my employees aren't getting paid. That's how customers coming
absolutely,
there.
and the money, any money I take in, we try to put it back into the community as much as we can, and
Right.
keep that money
Right.
circulating for our community. That's what keeps our community strong.
Right. Now, I know in your personal case, you've had I mean, it hasn't. I mean, obviously you got it going, and you're well known in the community now. But there was like a fire a few years ago, and wasn't that like a
A
scary?
year ago, April 4th, 2019, just
Oh
falling
wow!
asleep, and about midnight, somebody started banging on my front door. And for those out there, I live about 2.5 blocks from the shop. So
Oh, okay.
came a bang on my door saying your store's on fire.
Oh my God!
And you can imagine if you got that news at your house about your shop. So I
Right.
literally threw on a pair of shoes, didn't even lock my front door, forgot my phone, and ran down to the shop. To make it even more scary, is my father's house is directly behind the store,
Oh
and
my
he's
God!
completely deaf. He says he's not, but he can't hear anything. So it was all of us banging on his door to try to wake him up to make sure that he got out of the house.
Right.
Luckily finally woke up, and we didn't have to break any windows or anything, got him out, and then sat across the street from the shop from midnight till 6:30 in the morning watching the firemen, fight the fire.
Right.
So
Now, it wasn't
the
actually your shop, though, right?
no, it was the shop down next to mine
Hmm.
that had been a derelict building for many years. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about small towns and how we are. There's a lot of, derelict, empty buildings going on right now, and
Right.
stuff happens. This one was rolled an electrical fire. Um, there hasn't been anything in that building, for like 25 years.
Right.
Um, and so at 7 o'clock, when in the morning, we're able to enter our building again. As expecting everything to be destroyed.
Right.
Water, fire, and paper don't mix.
Right.
But luckily, and shout out to the Suisun City Police Fire Department. They knew what was up, and they did everything they could to mitigate loss as much as they could.
Wow.
And they could have just gone in there, full on fire hoses going, blast everything. But I mean, they knew the deal and fought the fire, so it didn't lose everything. So of my inventory losses, maybe about 8 to 10 long boxes of comics. Out of, if you've been in my store, here's my cat. you know how much stuff I have in there and how devastating that could have been. So
right. Right.
A few $1,000s in losses versus hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses. So, and then, so we got through that. The community turnout again was amazing. How many people turned out with brooms and mops and into scrub and all that to get it, the store put back. And, not familiar. I don't know how familiar you are with how comics work, but New Comic Book Day is Wednesday.
Right.
Fire happened on a Friday, and we were able to be back open on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. So
wow.
Yeah, it shout out to our local community.
That is incredible. One of the benefits of the small town, right? And
did you buy that from my shop, my friend?
No, I hate to say it, but I'm from Sacramento, so I did not. I brought this one out because I saw someone talking about Squirrel Girl, so I was like, "Oh, she's in this comic that I've been reading." May I ask, though, do you have a favorite series?
Do I have a favorite series?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I always do, whatever's selling the best. But but if we go back, back a ways, obviously Star Wars was my gateway drug into this. The first comic I ever remember buying, or not buying, but being bought for me was the Treasury Edition that was the first half of the movie. And so that's basically kind of how I learned how to read. And, then from there, buying stuff from the spinner racks at the BX. Shout out to Travis Force Base. And just that. And, so Captain America before the movie was always my favorite character. Growing up, the 80s Chris Claremont X-Men, the Wolfman Perez Teen Titans, Justice League, all that 80s nerd shit before it was cool.
Have you gotten to read this one?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mark Millar.
Yeah, I loved this one.
Who doesn't love venomized T-Rexes?
Yeah.
Running wild in the Mojave Desert.
Man.
Okay, so you got to be like the most organized person on the planet, right, John? Because here's the thing that blows me away. Every time I go into a comic book store, I always think, dude, I could never ever work here, dude. Like the amount of moving and this one is new and this line in this series and the amount of knowledge that you must need to have about every character in every series just blows me away. How do you contain all of this in one head?
Well, like I said, it's a job, so I always tell people, you got to read a bunch of stuff at your job. Luckily mine is comics. And it's more so not knowing, I don't need to know everything about every comic I sell, but I need to know the regular customers that come in, what they like, so I can recommend it to them. It's more about building customer relationships and that kind of thing. And, it's easier when you have, your long-term customers. The hardest part of my job is when someone comes in and they're like, what comic should I read? And I'm like, well, what do you like? And they're like, I don't know, I've told the story, break it down, well, what kind of movies do you like? I don't know. So one time I even got it down to well, I like things that are green. And I'm like, okay, here's Green Lantern and the Hulk. You know that.
Hey man, whatever it takes. Now, do you feel like there's any kind of a bridge? Like, do you feel like some of these kids that coming into your shop, they may be the next you? Like they may be the kid that's coming into the store and like, oh
I
my
hope
God,
so.
I love it here.
I
Yeah.
hope so. You know that would nothing would make me happier than, or nothing does make me happier. I mean, I've been to high school and college graduations of kids that were shopping with me since they were little kids. You know, and whatever brings them success in life, and following their dreams, that's the amazing thing to me.
Right. Well, now let me ask you this, John. Of all the things that you could do in the world, why a comic book store in particular? Was it because of your personal fond memories, or
Yeah,
did you see something
I
different?
definitely will go there. Like I said,
Mhm.
I did the whole college thing, was an accountant, worked in a corporate situation, but that was my thing that I was into. I could ask you, why do you want to sell sabers? But I'm sure it's because that's what you love. I know you did the
Right.
poet thing and were corporate before that, but more so now it's I love interacting with the public. I love people who make it their whole week to come in and see me and get their weekly books and to catch up on what's going on with them, what's going on, with me, or, new readers coming in, what's really cool, or someone coming in, oh, I love Star Wars. What do you have? And I show them, that we have 3 bookshelves full of Star Wars trades for them to go through, and, that kind of
Right.
stuff. And, that's the
Right.
stuff that makes me happy.
Right. Now, I feel like you reserve kind of a very unique spot, especially in Solano County, in that you are about the closest we come to a toy store now. I mean, I realize comic book store is not a toy store. You have collectibles and things like that. But what I mean to say is, when I grew up in Fairfield, we had KB's toys. For a while, we had Toys R Us here.
Yeah.
There were places that kids could go and kind of dream about things. You know what
Yeah.
I
And
mean?
unfortunately, that's kind of going the way of, extinct. Now we're lucky to have an aisle at Walmart, or Target that has,
Right.
but the unfortunate thing for me is with the internet and Walmart, a lot of times my wholesale cost is higher than what like Walmart or Amazon sells for at retail. So I can't compete, unfortunately.
Right.
So, I'll tell people, we have a catalog that we order from every month, and I have the past ones you can look through, and I can definitely get it from you, but I really can't, step out, and have a lot of unsold cool inventory that looks cool on my sitting on pegs, but
Right.
needs to move through. So
Right. You turn it, burn
You guys,
it.
you guys have probably not seen me geek out yet because I'm used to sabers and stuff. Do you do the statues and like the little action figures, like the nicely painted, good size statues at the store?
again, we have some.
Yeah.
And we can definitely order if there's anything you tell me you want me to check out and see if I can get. But
Is there a,
yeah,
is because I'm gonna probably check out your store more now because I'm like, oh, you're right there. Do you have
Dude,
like,
they are literally like 5 minutes from us, dude.
yeah,
do you have
that was one of the sad things about this COVID. I was really looking forward to us putting on it, the huge free comic book day event, having you guys do table battles
yes.
across the street and
Yeah, so
all
remember
that.
we were gonna do the May 4th event? This is who we were gonna do it with.
But
Now I'm always looking for a nice figurine of the most sought out one of the Slave Leia
yeah, of
pose
course.
there. I'm always looking for that.
Well, we definitely
Oh my
have
God, dude.
finally since COVID's happened, we finally have gotten our Baby Yodas in. So we have life size Baby
Ooh.
Yoda Funkos, the normal Funko, Baby Yoda eating frogs and holding the cup, and and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and also Christina is actually has a question. And it's for both Kyber Cave and the waterfront. Do you
Okay.
sell Do you sell gift cards?
Of course, or as I like to say, I'll happily take your money for anything you want me to give you.
Yes, we do gift certificates, most definitely.
Yeah,
So, yes.
that's one of the things I always tell when people come in like, well, what should I buy for whomever? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never met this person, but if I give you a
Right.
gift card, I'm sure I can find something for them if they come in and tell me what they love.
Right.
Yeah.
So John, let me ask you, why do you think I mean, and I feel like and keep in mind, when I'm asking this in general because I know how I feel about it. But what do you think makes a comic book so special? A comic book store so special? Why in this time period when Toys R Us and all these other, you know, Chuck E. Cheese and Discovery Zone, all these things that are associated to kids are kind of dying out, but there's always seems to be a special reverence for a comic book store.
What I can say is I offer a sense of community. It's people come in, my building before it was my store. My grandparents had a restaurant and bar in there since like the early 40s.
Oh, wow.
And what I do isn't much different than what my grandparents and my parents did when it was a bar. Other than, we don't sell drinks, but, I'm the place where you can go where I know your name, and, what's going on with you. And I mean, and you get that the same, I'm sure, at Kyber Cave with, the people that come in and I was fascinated about your previous guy talking about all the swordsmanship and all that, and, that's, the kind of community that you built.
Right. It was interesting. I went out to Arizona and I met with a gentleman that we usually do interviews with, but we were talking about Kyber Cave and he had described Kyber Cave as a community center. And
Absolutely.
I was like, wow, I never really saw it that way, but it kind of is. People just come and hang out there all day long and text on their phones and just watch the people battling on the mats.
Yeah, I mean, I know that a few weeks ago I was down there to get pizza down the street, and I saw some guys dressed up like Spider-Mans hanging out on so I hit them there. Oh, yeah, you're the comic book store. We were down over at Kyber Cave and, that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right. In fact, one of our guys, Victor, one of our producers, he's at Spidey's house right now.
Okay.
Spidey
Yep,
hasn't come
I am.
Hopefully Aunt May has made him some wheat cakes.
Oh, did Aunt May make you? Did Aunt May make you some cakes? What? She said, "I don't know." Aunt May.
So now, John, would you say that after owning a store for 20 years, are you still as much of a comic geek as you were before? Are you still that child that has to know what's going on in every story, or is it just become a job?
Can I say yes to both?
Yes.
I mean,
Why
I
not
don't
both?
know what's happening in every story, but you definitely have to keep abreast of what's going out and creators and all that. And while personally I don't buy as many comics as I used to, I still have that love and passion for it. And but I mean, you do have to treat it as a job because it is how I survive. The old joke, you can't get high on your own supply. So
Right.
Yep.
And how do you keep your passion going for it? You've been doing it for so long now in our community. How do you keep it fresh and original for yourself and for your family? I know, one thing I would love for you to talk about too is because we didn't get a chance to do May 4th this year, but that is Free Comic Book Day, and you were like everybody in the community's best friend on Free Comic Book Day, and that is the poppin' place to be.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's it was really, really bad, really sad that we had to miss out on that this year. So we had free comic summer instead. We were able to finally get back open. The free comics kind of trickled in like 3 or 4 every week over the summer. So now I have about 30 different ones that are there. If anybody wants to pop in, you can, get your free comic. But it missed the whole event thing. It missed the whole, 100 people in line waiting to get in to get their free comics, and all the people,
Right.
ancillary stuff going on across the street with writers and artists showing off their books, and you guys over there doing your cyber battles, and people dressed up in their Star Wars outfits, or Spider-Man showing up to climb up on the pole, or any of that.
Right.
I've done it since the day one, and it just like I said, it was because there were people that had texted me on messaged me on Facebook, like, our kid is 12 years old and has been to every one, since they were born, and I'm like, I would love to do it, but we're closed. But luckily we were able to open up back on May 20th, and we've been open, ever since. So
Right.
Nice.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. How is that day for you every year? Is that like your Christmas? Is that
yes,
the
it's
I'm sure it takes a lot of planning just to make it through that
I
day.
mean, we start planning it out like in January, and for the beginning of May, and if people have it now circled on their calendars. Of course, I don't know after this how we're going to rebound next year, what 2021 is going to look like, but
Right.
hopefully by then we'll be able to gather again. It seems like forever since that day we talked when we were doing the Put So Soon on HGTV. That seems like a lifetime ago now.
Right. I know it's amazing to me when I look back and I get, man, this whole COVID thing's been 6 months already.
Yeah.
6 months of quarantine.
Like when whole COVID was going on, and I believe it was the first day that you opened, John, the comic book store. Yeah, I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to see all the Spider-Man comics again, because I love Spider-Man, and I love reading the comics. I used to love them when I was younger.
Oh, cool.
So.
Well, we have a whole bunch
John.
for you to go through. Next week, we're going to start a sale where we have a bunch of graphic novels, like the gentleman was showing before, 75% off. So there's quite a few Spider-Man ones in there. I got a great deal on them, so I want to pass it on to the community. Give people something to read if they're still quarantined.
Yes.
I will be there. I will be there.
Someone's about to blow his paycheck.
Hopefully, we won't be covered in ash when it's still going on.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, last night after I closed and the street was kind of empty, I blew off the sidewalk, and it looked like I ended up covered in ash. There was everything in the air, but now we have a
It's
cleaned
beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
A nuclear Christmas.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that was the oddest thing. A couple days ago when I woke up and it was still dark outside, and I'm like checking my phone. I'm like, it can't be 8:30.
Right.
No.
I'm like, did I sleep 15 hours and it's 8:30 at night?
No, like yesterday, a few days ago, I wake up at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it looks like 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are definitely living in some weird times, my friends. So, John, let me tell me now, or I mean, not tell me now, but I mean, what we got about 5 minutes left, and I want to know. I know it's really hard to plan things right now in this time of COVID, and even like I'm hearing, things won't be normalized till the end of 2021, whatever normalized means nowadays. But what are your plans for Waterfront Comics? Is it going to be just to keep doors open and do the same as as you've always been doing?
Yeah, I mean that's
Are
pretty much how we've been. I'm lucky that I'm pretty much back to normal, other than we can't have giant events. But
right,
we're back to, I'm there at the store at 10:45, and then till 6:45, 7, and anybody come in, I'll hook you up with a comic, take your money, have a chat, all that good stuff. I mean, so that's really all you can do is just keep grinding, but
right,
I sure would love to see everybody's unmasked faces, and you know and actually see
right,
on people's faces rather than them hiding behind masks.
right. It's so funny. Sometimes, like, I go into places and I'll see someone and smile and then forget that they can't see me smiling. So I just
Yeah, yeah. I was that earlier when I was picking up the food. I had a mask on, but I
right,
smiled at somebody because they came in, and all you can see is.
right, right.
Luckily, I smile with
I,
my eyes as well. So
I was telling someone the other day, though, the one cool thing was so many people are complaining about masks, but I remember when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a ninja, and now
yeah,
I get to be a Cobra officer now.
Cobra!
So, John, as we get ready to close up, why don't you let people know where they can find out more information about you? I don't know if you do Twitter or if it's just on Facebook or,
um,
let them know your
Facebook. There's
address
both.
again.
Facebook. There's both the Waterfront comic site, but and then John Harter on Facebook. If you send me a friend request, I will definitely friend you back. Um,
Hold on real quick. Victor, drop your mic. Victor, drop your mic, dude. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
yeah, basically Facebook for John Harter. Um, and then we do have a Waterfront page, but I, rarely update it, but it does have, updated with all the new stuff that's coming in and that kind of stuff. Definitely, if you drop me a friend request to John Harter, I'll definitely accept it. Yeah, and that's, you know, if you follow at Waterfront Comic, if you want to hear me rave about how shitty the Raiders are doing or how the A's are doing, that's what I use that for.
And I personally think the best way is just to come down into the shop and meet John for yourself. Just come in there, have a chat with him, talk about comics, hang out. Waterfront Comics, it's such a it's a small shop, but it feels so like you feel like you're in home when you come in there, and you just feel welcomed already. It's a very
Yeah, and I
home feeling.
definitely need to stop by and see you. It's been too long.
Yes, sir. And I'm waiting for us to do an event together. I think we could take over all of Solano County, be the talk of the town if we do an event together.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely, absolutely. I was, I was so bummed when when our Free Comic Day and May 4th event got canceled. But next year we'll do it bigger and better, and then we'll have
yes, sir.
season
And
2 of Mandalorian in the tank by then. And
well, that's actually what I was just going to talk to you about. I actually have an actor who's been dying to come out to Kyber Cave, just with the COVID, it's just been kind of weird. And when I did it, I wanted to contact you, and I was like, "Oh, we got to figure out how to get Waterfront Comics involved in this." But we have an actor from The Mandalorian. He was a bounty hunter named Dominic Pace. He
okay,
played a character named bounty hunter named Gecko in The Mandalorian. And he's
there's
doing an huh?
there's a new Star Wars bounty hunter comic that's been out for about 5 months now. It's 5 issues are out right now on that, so definitely want to check that
Ooh.
out. For Star Wars comics, when Disney took over the rights, Marvel got Star Wars back, and they
Right.
did a Star Wars series that took place immediately after New Hope ended, and that ran 75 issues. Now they're doing it right after Empire ended, and they're about 6 issues into that. There's been several
Wow.
great Darth Vader series. The Darth Vader series started, basically after New Hope ended, and that was when he realized that he had a son named Luke, and the Empire had been lying to him all these years. So that was really, so it's a lot of good, like, pick up actual canon type stuff. So
Right.
I can definitely get you guys go. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're a Star Wars fan. So it can definitely get you. You know, we
Yeah.
have a lot of Baby Yodas to sell you. You know, including life-size Funkos, and
Woohoo!
yeah, my
Yeah, Waterfront Comics. If you guys have not been in there, if you are coming through Solano County, we have viewers all over the world. I know some of you are, in the Philippines and Australia. You're probably not going to come to Waterfront Comics. But if you are in California, if you're anywhere near the Bay Area, if you're driving from San Francisco to Sacramento, I say stop right in, pop off on Highway 12. He's really easy to get to. Go check out Waterfront Comics.
and if you're gonna go to all that trouble, stop by Cyber Cave as well and buy a saber.
Woohoo! Well, thank you, thank you. I love the love. It's like a tennis match, back and forth. John, I
Yeah,
want to thank you
we'll
so
definitely
much
stop
for
by and
being.
see you, Van. See you soon, Van. We miss you.
I miss you too. We're gonna do something great together, John. I'm excited. We're not gonna let COVID beat us.
No, not at all. Little guy doing good.
He is, other than being, I guess a little bored with the online classes. But it's that's a whole philosophical discussion later. I'm like, man, this whole little generation, it's gonna be weird when they grow up. But yeah, that's a whole different. Yeah. At any rate, please make sure to check out Waterfront Comics. I want to thank Mr. John Harter from Waterfront Comics for being with us here tonight. Thank you, Internet, and everybody out there for tuning in. My name is Xcala, and this has been Kyber K presents Saber Rattle. Until next week, where Gary Ripper will be doing the interview. Peace.